Hey guys, I wanted to keep it up, so I'm just gonna dive in. Part two, I am a Rothschild, ask me a question. We left it off after his long speech, and now people are asking, that which you don't know, you know, and then someone else, you know, and then someone else. I know, and now everyone with that path reading this thread will too. Notice Opie's disappearance? They are frightened, because as it is stricken, so shall it be. I hear there is a stricken by three. You ask what is stricken. I answer ye. What's in a name? That which we call a rose, by any other name, would smell so sweet. You know, Mercy, self-delusion is the queen of all delusions. You must embrace how silly you sound, how utterly powerless and afraid you are from your lack of knowledge. Know this, illiterati, and understand its deep meaning. For want of knowledge, my people are lost. Don't go away mad, Opie. Love abounds. I do not have the luxury of time as many here, but this thread is in my hand, and thus has value to me. It will thus receive some of my boundless energy. I will appear as appropriate to assist those with the prerequisite intellectual knowledge, such as it is, on the off chance that there misspelled that there may be an emerger amongst you. Maybe. Who knows? There are tons of DNA tests out there, but from what I understand, it can only be traced back father to father and then around where they came from, like Europe or whatever. Those are public tests. I want to know about the secret technology that the elite families have access to. How advanced are they really with DNA ancestry testing? You are probably familiar with the Genome Project. The public sequencing was for human consumption, but as with all things military, what is known is not relevant. It is what you don't know you don't know. This is where the magic lies. And it is already a fait accompli. The Bible Code was of course an elaborate hoax, but created much buzz some years back. Now imagine if all of human history were encoded in the DNA helix and could be accessed in its completeness. Wouldn't that be interesting? Now consider that all human history, both past and future, were so encoded. Wouldn't you like a drop of that precious blood? And the necessary decoding software? Would you trade a few gold tokens for a roadmap of human history and human future? Laughing, laughing, laughing out loud. And dear Bickle, should you be so blessed to carry this information, would you share this information with those who are clearly not evolved enough to handle it? Imagine what mischief could be carried out by these little rhesus monkeys armed with the knowledge of the gods. I am sure you, dear Bickle, would be oh so careful and only use this knowledge for good, not evil. Oh, okay, perhaps you would have a little taste of the good things in life. Perhaps a few would die, but hey, you are Bickle. You deserve such things, and so on. I would like to know how they keep track of their hidden children and how many bastards, I mean hidden extensions, there are and what that means. Opie, can you answer the question quoted in blue above? Ha ha ha! Dear Bickle, as I stated earlier, if you wished to indoctrinate a child into the way of the wolf, you would put the child, at an early age, into the wolf's den. The eagle chick belongs in the eagle's nest. Notice how all babies are blood typed at birth. It is the first thing done, and that data goes somewhere. Most interesting, no? Rothschilds added the S, left it out, but who cares? They are left out of the great book, as I said before, stricken thrice. Roth means red. The color of blood, is it not? Laughing again out loud. Red shield. What is a red shield? What is a shield again? Laughing out loud. There is oh so much to know and understand. Do you think globally humans will ever be ready to accept the possibilities that they have been lied to and continue to be lied to? It seems that there is at the moment some kind of global awareness going on. People are starting to wake up with their eyes open. I believe the real question is whether humans will ever be ready to accept the truth and stop lying to themselves. A variant of the beautiful lie, oh, so easy to swallow. Humans have locked themselves into cages of their own construction, albeit with some very carefully placed suggestions. Laughing out loud. I am also negative. Yes, some things he mentioned are true. I just find it frustrating that there is no answer confirmed out there as to if the negative factor is a mutation and how, when. Everything is speculated. I believe I read the same post he did from another website while trying to find an answer. For some reason, I guess I was assuming he may know more, being from an elite family line. The truth is the truth, crazy mama. Take it or leave it. Really, what more does one need to know? And then to start acting accordingly. You speak not with forked tongue here, except I do not agree with your continued dark side veiled insults to the plus humans. I am RH negative, and I see through you. Insults? How so? If a child is developmentally retarded in some way, does the parent do the child a service pretending it is some other way? Or does the parent teach what it can within the limits of that child's understanding? Forked tongue? And after I specifically asked those posting to suspend that childish superstition, ne conjugare nobiscum. Some will, some won't. It is not our path to choose or manipulate. It is theirs, and their path is perfect for them. You are right, humans choose their cages, but that gives no other soul the right to lock the door. Why do you laugh at human pain and fear? I stated clearly before, human pain and fear are harvested. I didn't state by whom. And one must realize that many forces are at play here. Primary, secondary, and tertiary. Is that how you say? And then there are those who benefit as middlemen. Some blood, laughing out loud. I do recall a picture of Jesus. Chinese version, he is in red. The other version, he's wearing blue. I like blue. Goes well with those apples. Or grapes, if you wish. You would mock Jesus? Why? Is reality created for us, or do we create our reality? By your existence, you create reality. However, you, yourself, or at least your awareness, were created. Thanks for playing. The reason I asked this is, when I was younger, it seemed I could manipulate the reality around me. I thought the world was created for me until I was 12. Curious. Are you RH negative? Deprogramming is common, the norm. Why do you think so much is invested in the education system and media programming? Those who are evolving faster are ostracized by their own, held back instead of being groomed to become the teachers and leaders of their people. Who among you have not seen this dynamic at work, perhaps in your own lives? Children, even Rh positive, have great powers of perception and much latent powers. Some are able to activate and represent the evolutionary force at work. How they activate and to what end is cause for great and continuing speculation. The evolutionary process is known, but also a wild card. Bloodlines are generic purification at work and span centuries. As with crops, a wild seed blooming at the wrong time can wreak havoc on the most carefully laid plans. This is why control is so very necessary. OP, if you really are a Rothschild, please support my football club. We could use some decent players. I will advise you as follows. You will develop the greatest football team in history if it is your destiny to do so, with or without external financial support. Realize also that any support you receive from those who do not share your vision is external and will come at a great price. That price will leave your dreams in ruin, for that is the nature of things. If you have passion, and that passion is great, others with similar passion will take up your cause, and you will prevail. Be forewarned, however, that ultimately your passion will destroy you and your dreams. Dream rather that your progeny will have the type of dream you desire, and begin to lay the foundation for them. This applies to everything, not just football. Preaching to the choir here, don't laugh at their ignorance and pain caused from their choices. You would presume to tell me what to do? Do you know if there is some truth to the studies that people with Rh negative blood seem to be more intuitive and so forth? Why does Rh negative seem to have more copper in their blood, yet Rh positive have more iron? Why does it seem that more people with Rh negative blood have extra vertebrae, lower blood pressure? Is it just by coincidence? Higher copper is relevant and a factor from the environment of early development of the Rh negatives. Yes, I am Rh negative, and so is my father, so is my newborn son. As far as education, I went to the worst school system in America, IPSI. Was given chances to go to better school because of my IQ. But like you said earlier, it's all about choices, and I've made a shitload of bad ones. As I got older, I realized I'm uneducated and my opinion means nothing. Well, with any luck, my child will be the one to break the cycle. A heartfelt observation, Brennes. Embrace your bad choices as learning experience, and think of this. Did you make your bad choices despite the study advice of others? If so, you are in the company of giants who have come before you. Oh, that gave me chills. Know that you cannot make good choices in the realm of your existence. Your father's ignorance was handed down to you, as yours will be to your child, unless you break from the paradigm which you find yourself. Have you ever considered what legacy you would choose to gift your progeny? That is where it all can begin anew. Which Rothschild are you? Who is asking, and why? This whole thing about the First Nation elders traveling around North America with the 13 crystal skulls, stating that it is now time for us to finally understand our reason for being here. Will that actually be a step in the right direction for us? If so, why would it be allowed to happen? You would do well to stay focused on your study of the Rh negative issue you raised. The NAI have their own knowledge and superstitions to contend with. Far-fetched question, but worth a shot. Since the Howard of Rothschild owns pretty much all of the Hollywood movie studios, are you allowing some of these doomsday movies out to possibly help people open up to the possibility possibilities of something more being out there. Your family owns so much, geez, just going through a list from a book I've been reading. What is released into the social media consciousness is never an accident. It is all in accordance with an agenda. Romance movies, for example, can create discord within a family. And the family is where the bloodline resides. Human females are easily subverted and largely selfish. I would comment in greater depth, but this would result in the activation of racism subroutines. I know the power of that, laughing out loud. There are events which will come to pass, others that will not. Looking at this site will educate those who understand that doom distraction is a powerful tool, a very useful tool of distraction. Of course, every family bloodline should prepare for whatever eventuality they can reasonably imagine, but taken to an extreme it is counterproductive. Can you really prepare for an Ellie? No, but you can prepare for a famine and currency collapse. You know, the so-called financial collapse is a fiction, and preparing for a new financial system already established. And yes, the ownership is largely complete. Realize that this is the result of generations of meticulous planning, execution, and, dare I say it, genius. Of course, one can question the genius aspect. If a bloodline knows exactly what will happen, is it genius? I submit the unraveling of the mystery of the ages, allowing this knowledge to be had, is genius beyond that of human comprehension. I never listened to no one. I always felt like I was on a mission. Yes, all the time he is my everything, and I'm still too scared to hold him. I would love to give him the chances that I never had. Let me say this. If you are a troll or a disinfo shill, you are the best damn shill I've ever seen on the web, and you are a very wise person. I had fun talking to you. I assure you, I am no shill or disinfo agent. There is no incentive to mislead. You did not answer my question about your wish for your progeny. What are you hoping to pass to him? What knowledge do you hold dear? Have you considered this? If you had those choices to make again, what would you do differently? How do you think it would have changed your current situation? I do not understand your inability to hold your child. You must be strong, for the strength of the bloodline comes from the paternal side. You do not have the luxury to act any other way. I'd rather die honest and poor than die like a bunch of fat egocentrical bastards who care about nobody but themselves. Well, you sound like you're positioned to do just that. Let me ask you, do you have any duty to your bloodline's future well-being and growth? Can you afford such bravado? How will you discharge your duty? Silly. See what plane you operate upon. The joke's on them. There was no money in the beginning of creation, so when all matter returns back to its original place, guess what? No more money. And yeah, I'm laughing my ass off, OP. You can take that to the bank. I'm curious, Lightfeather. Do you have a bank account? Do you transact your business in fiat? If no to both questions, then we may have a basis to talk. 1. What are the right tools for a human to pick the lock? 2. Are we more advanced than you guys when unlocked 100% human potential, of course? 3. Is it true that you guys switch off 95% of our DNA brain? 4a. About the bees you mentioned earlier, I agree with you, we are doing the same thing. But isn't that because we were not given the right knowledge to evolve correctly? 4b. But just taking honey from the bee and leaving it alone with no bad intentions is a whole lot different than starting war and cause extreme pain around the globe. We do not do that to the bees, at least not consciously. You guys are. 5. If you guys have such great powers because you possess secret knowledge, why don't you use it for the good? Doesn't that give you a better feeling at the end? 6. What kind of race are you? Are you alien, reptilian, insectoid, android? Excuse me. 7. Is there any information you have about us to play with? Maybe a method to look into another dimension or something like that? Anything at all? 1. The bloodline is all. I have said this from the beginning. 2. Advanced? How so? As I understand your question, no. 3. Not directly. Think free choice. 4. You have free will. You make choices as you do. There is everything necessary for your nutrition without stealing or slaughtering animals. Have you checked out videos on how cows, chickens, and pigs are cared for, groomed by humans? You will evolve when you lead by the example and treat animals the way you would be treated. Oh, I guess you do, laughing out loud. Animal husbandry. How humans do care for their animals. 4b, C4. 5. Our knowledge is being used for good, just as farm animals are used for your good. 6. We are the chosen bloodline. What more do you need to know? 7. Sorry, I can't decipher your meaning. You mean fiat notes? Yes, kinda have to for now, but soon it's a level playing field, barter and trade. Good old days are coming. And yeah, been prepping for this like 7 years now. Yet another keyboard warrior. Of course you use fiat now, and of course you will not later. Everyone deceives themselves with this or similar fictions. That is why we always win this stupid game. The contestants are so naive and deluded, as you so ably demonstrated. What is stopping you today from forming a barter system within your community? Please to report back when you get that underway. I will teach him that there is more to life than instant gratification. I have spent my time selfishly, and the moment he was born, I knew it. I knew it was no longer about me and all about him. It is his destiny now. The knowledge I hold dear is that the universe is God. I would have stayed in school and gone to college and made something of myself. Sorry guys, I get emotional. I would not have joined the gang and done all the stupid things that goes with it. I would not have joined the military and done all the stupid shit that goes with that. My life would be better had I not spent most of my times partying and chasing women. Therefore, he would have so much more opportunity. I failed in life up to the expectations they had for me. I hope my son, Brennus Alexander, will. Oh, the reason I'm so scared to hold him is because I'm afraid I'll hurt him, or he might get hurt while I hold him. You have fully embraced your past mistakes. Congratulations. Please do not make the mistake of letting your past distort your future. And past and future. There is an interesting fairy tale told within business schools which may apply. Thomas Watson Sr. was a leader of International Business Machines, IBM, a corporate entity closely tied to the US military. Supposedly, an employee made a huge mistake costing the company millions of dollars, back when that meant something. The employee was summoned to Watson's office and assumed he was going to be fired. Watson Sr. asked the employee to explain what happened and what he had learned, and then told him to go back to work. The employee was flabbergasted and told Watson that he had expected to be terminated. Watson said, "I just spent $10 million on your education. Do you think I want a competitor of IBM to benefit from that education? Think about how well you will be able to advise and guide your son. He is lucky to have a man of your real-world experience to guide and mentor him. It is doubtful you will be spouting useless platitudes and harmless untruths. You, sir, have been in the real world and lived to tell its tale. You must have family members who can teach you the correct way to hold your son. Do not be deprived of this experience for both of your sakes. Also, if he's still an infant, skin-to-skin bonding is important." I mean, do the math, dipshits. If this fucking guy was who he said he was, and was of any great importance at all, would he not be spending all of his time on what he would not be spending all of his time on a fucking conspiracy website arguing with stupid people. And you would be one of those stupid people. Thanks for your thoughtful comments and observation. Your logic is stunning. Wow, OP, you are what humans call evil incarnate. You are the kind the light is coming to stop. You are the one that should be shaking in fear, for the creator source is very unhappy with you. If you were not fearful of losing everything you control, you would not be on a public forum, wasting your luxury time spreading half-truths, misconceptions, fear and confusion. That nothingness that your ilk has convinced some in humanity exists will exist for your kind very soon. Total recycling of all that is not good and of the light. I have a very clear understanding and have no fear whatsoever. Can you, Mercy, with any conviction, say the same? No, actually, I can tell you're completely full of fucking shit, and yes, my logic is very stunning, shithead. The worker drone stops, raises its eyes to the sun and blinks, before returning to its toils. Work on, little drone. Okay, I admit, that even made me laugh. Laughter is the music of the soul, Mercy. Happy to be of service to your bloodline. Schadenfreude, is that what you get off on, OP? That's such a Germanic concept, laughing out loud. I keep telling you, we are highly evolved. Yes, OP, I can. Human emotions is part of the illusion of this dimension and is meant to control. That is part of the secret, now isn't it? Human emotions evolved to protect and nurture the bloodline and is critical to its survival. However, as the great philosophers of the past have taught, it is the unbridled emotion which leads to mischief. Great mischief. That's where I got you, dickface. I choose not to work at all. I mean, shit, dude. Who are you trying to convince here? Whether you labor and toil at a job, or labor and toil under your delusions, is really one and the same. Frankly, I'm not surprised that you find yourself unemployed. You sound bitter and unpleasant. I'm not here to convince anyone, just to provide some breadcrumbs to those wise enough to ask the right questions. Had you bothered to read the header on every post, you would know that I invited one and all to ask me a question. If you missed that clue, think of everything else you must be missing. You about as evolved as a turd exiting my asshole. If I were a turd, you can bet I would be in a big hurry to exit your asshole. Life would have to be better almost anywhere else in the known universe. Why are some neg prone to disease like lupus, and can you tell me a cure or remedy? I don't really know offhand. There are a variety of autoimmune disorders, which are primarily environmental in nature, but caused by a genetic predisposition. If I locate any relevant information, I'll post it here. Which means, in layman's terms, emotions are the issue with humans. Your thoughts create emotion, your emotion create actions, and so on. To become evolved, one cannot succumb to human emotions. They control them, they create them, they use them to their advantage. Wake up, people. It's so easy. If you would just open your eyes and see what is higher than what this third dimension holds. I cannot even show you the path. You have to find it yourself. Free will was chosen by mercy. Human emotions are hybrid between the ancestor fight-flight and adopted characteristics. Obtaining control of the human emotion is human's greatest imperative and challenge. How many eons is that one going to take? I'm still missing the fact that you claim to be a very important person, yet you spend all of your time on a website going on and on about bloodlines and how you think you're more evolved than everyone else. Well, fuck you, man. I'm not buying your little troll story. And if you actually were who you say you are, fuck you anyways. So either way, you're fucked. I'm not selling anything, so you are good to go. Why? Please tell, are you so angry? If you choose not to believe what is being stated here, why not move to a thread more along the lines of what you are programmed to receive? Something like America's Got Class, or whatever the popular meme of the moment is, laughing out loud. And have I once said anything about trolls? Cute little imps. Okay, I'm gonna ask you this. About 4 years ago, right before my 33rd birthday, I was given something in the mail. It said I had been watched for years, and they gave me a chance to join a certain group, and would give me a book with all the contacts I ever needed. I did not join, and kind of blew it off as just a weird letter. So my question is, will they give me another chance to join? Hard to know what that was about, but I would be highly skeptical. Generally, contacts are never made in writing. Writing? Information is priceless. Priceless information anyway. Doubtful anything would be stuck in your mailbox in such a haphazard method. I would say likely not a value. Someone says thank you to if he locates relevant information, he will post it. Have you explored the wacky worlds of fats and oil? Look up a book by a chap named Erasmus, I believe. Anyone suffering from any autoimmune disorder should look closely at their diets. Humans are designed to run on a high-quality plant oil and certain fats. They are also well advised to refrain from glutens and most carbohydrates. Carbohydrates are the Trojan horse for the pharma industry. You are certainly a clever little weasel, aren't you? I think the expression is clever as a fox. If you are implying that I have been deceptive or nefarious in my response, it is incumbent upon you to provide proof of your assertion. Keep in mind that a deliberate and unprovoked affront to a man's honor is a great offense. Best be careful what you say from the relative safety of your keyboard. I have another question to ask you. Could you help me with the funds to start a fish farm? I would say the same thing to you as the football guy. There would be too many strings attached. Go start your little fish farm by your own 2 hands. Only then will it be truly yours. Only then will it truly be yours. Do you believe it to be human nature to give unselfishly to others? Where have you seen that example in human behavior or nature? Wow, I'm shaken. Better send one of your minions after me. Fuck you and your honor, asshat McGee. Your tremors will subside, little drone. I have no minions to dispatch, nor would I if I did. You're all tied up like a knot in your own little drama, of which I seek no part. Was Asshat McGee a character in your ethnicity mythology? If so, what were his accomplishments? Better keep your composure, big guy. I'm fine. It was you who was shaking. That was me axing you. I'm broke as hell and I have bad credit. So if you do a cracker a solid, I'd pay it back twofold. So how much do you need to start a fish farm? And what tools do you possess to accomplish this? Many people gave money for the victim of tsunamis, earthquakes, famines. Yes, and then ask yourself, why? Extend and pretend, perhaps, the sins of the fathers? Sorry, I had to take a dump. All is well now. I pity any co-dwellers of your abode. That's right, or he will threaten you in Latin. Got to go for today, Opie. I do have a abundantly full, rich, wonderful life to live. I would say don't despair, I will return, but we never despair, do we? I will return to right the wrongs you have perpetrated on humanity once and again very soon. Peace be unto you all until we meet again. All the best to you and your bloodlines, Mercy. Enjoy the day, even if you don't seize it. I crap alone. Again, not a surprise. You live alone and have no gainful employment. Socialization does not come easy to you, no? Opie, don't you think the movie The Matrix is very close to the truth, except the chains are an illusion? We have the ability to lose the chains that bind. Isn't true freedom being totally without fear and knowing that the entire universe serves us? Why is there no concrete evidence that the man Jesus existed? Can you tell me anything about 0 Point? There was no truth in the Matrix movie per se. There was a lot of subliminal programming and suggestion, which was most effective. Fear is a human construct. Think on that. It is within your scope to live without fear. Truly the beginning signs of evolution. Think back of all the fears you have had in your life. How many really panned out in any meaningful way? Even those events which had a bad ending. It is only bad in a limited and contextual way. Context is very important, as is perspective. Numerous examples abound. The universe does not necessarily serve us, but it provides all which is needed and more. Someone posted a thought about the amount of energy between ambient and absolute zero is nearly infinite. The energy contained within an atom is beyond human comprehension. Read of Tesla. He is the real deal. Don't waste time with the hucksters on the internet, although there are few who acknowledge and are trying to continue Tesla's work 100 years later. Okay, it's been fun giving you shit, dude, but I have some shit to do. It's been real. Farewell, sir. I bid you well in your travels and future bowel movements. Huzzah. Enough to buy 10 acres or at least a down payment. A small backhoe, could rent the backhoe to dig the ponds. Hell, I'd even be willing to do it by hand if I had the land equipment such as pumps and motors to oxygenate the water for fish, trout, bass, maybe crappie, and a little money to hold me over while it all gets up and running. 50,000 would cover it. I have good knowledge of fish and their upkeep. With people polluting the oceans, lakes, and rivers, farm-raised fish will be the way to go. It seemed it would be a good business opportunity. There are areas around the world that will deed you land if you will work it. Are you agreeable to relocate with your family? If so, I may be able to provide you with some information. Add question 2. Okay, if we are not more advanced than you are, why are you so afraid of us learning to use our full potential? At question 3, and yes, I did see the video of the animal farms, and you know what? I got sick. I never knew this. I got sick to my stomach and all the way back. After this growth in consciousness, I decided, with all my family, to not eat meat again, because we do care about a better world, unlike you guys do with your high consciousness. Add question 5. Do you admit you are doing it for your own good? So basically, you are saying we are both doing the wrong thing, right? Because the only right thing is to unconditionally love, right? Loving something not because it's for your own good, but just because it is. How come I am changing myself to make a better world, and how to tune into my unconditional love state of mind, and you, as highly advanced as you are still stuck on the same low vibrating level as us humans? That doesn't make sense. Either you guys are full of shit, or I don't want to evolve, because if that's the price to pay, hurt other beings' consciousness, then I'd rather be stupid than highly advanced. At question 6, the chosen bloodline, for what? And yes, you do need to say more. At question 7, well, if you are so highly advanced and got a head start of a few thousand years in knowledge, then you must got something for us humans to activate something inside of us or something. Unfortunately, I started at your question 7. You must got something for us humans to activate something inside us or something. No, but you do. Glad to hear you have given up meat eating. You should take up the course with your family as well. It will benefit your particular bloodline. And I am not afraid of you activating your potential. Go for it. Oh, you gotta be kidding about the Matrix. You even stated that our fear and stress is harvested. The scenery may change, but it's still the same road for most. We work, toil, and die. The struggle is essentially within ourselves. Neo activated polarity integration at the very end of the movie. He faced himself, had compassion, and transcended. That movie so close to the truth. Of course, you wouldn't want Neo's outsmarting the system. No, I'm not kidding. I don't kid much, although I did joke with a poster who was fixated upon his bowel movements. Almost any child will laugh when one says poop, pee, or other acts of defecation. Never understood that. If you choose to believe the lessons of the Matrix, feel free. I've told you what I know to be truth. Do with it what you will. Yes, I'm interested. Please send me some information. There is a lot of activity in the Yukon if you can tolerate the harsh weather. Do you know the Marinara Islands? They do a lot of aquaculture, raising clams, for example. The Chinese pay something like $300 per pound of powdered clams because they deem it to be an aphrodisiac or something. They also raise huge clams for aquariums around the world. It may be possible to form a partnership, as the investors do not wish to live on the small island themselves. Okay, thank you. I got that I possess that potential, but we have little or no knowledge about our soul, brain, higher self. I just wouldn't know where to begin. Maybe I already begun, because I'm changing myself for the good of all. Got 4 other questions. Are the conspiracy theories put on the internet by purpose to hold people in fear for your energy, or is it really because of people waking up? And why are we reading that you are doing everything to stop our awakening? What about this whole Maya calendar thing, 2012, Nibiru, Elenin, etc.? Could you please clear this up a bit? What do you know about these subjects? Are there really portals opening? What happens if we realize we live in an illusion, etc., 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 and you lose power? Is it true that you guys, because you can't live... Oh, the misspelling, sorry guys. I will just pretend it's well spelled, and if I read anything wrong, I'll just go with it, because the tracing back to read it perfectly is killing me. Okay, let me do this again. What happens if we realize that life is an illusion, etc., etc., etc.? You lose power. Is it true that you guys die because you can't live on our energy anymore? And is there another way to use us, but not for your own good, but for the good of the universe, all there is? 4. How to get rid of all the filters in your head and see the world as it really is. 1. What happens on the internet is a good example of the human devolvement, for a lack of better word. A kernel of truth and knowledge emerges from whatever source, and immediately a swarm of humans take that kernel and grind it into useless meat. It's quite perplexing, but an example of some self-styled messiah trying to emerge as a leader for usually selfish reasons. Humans are quick to sacrifice their own at the altar of beautiful lies, even for the smallest advantage. For many years, human governments were pitted against one the other, resulting in wars, famine, and poverty. Except for the banking classes. They benefited greatly from war, and still do. As the era of the nation-state comes to a close, on the cusp of a global world order, competing nations will give way to class warfare and ultimately competing bloodlines. Poor Chinese will hate rich Chinese. Poor Americans will hate rich Americans. Europeans the same. Poor will wage war against the rich, much larger scale than nation-states. Perhaps you are seeing this play out now, laughing out loud. 2. Distractions, all. And yes, there are portals, but not what you imagine. 3. The musician John Lennon asked this very question in his music. Can a man live without his illusions? A very dangerous question, but one you must answer for yourself and your progeny. 4. The filters are there for a reason. Figure out the reason and you will have your answer. Clue, fear-based. Children are programmed from birth to respond to fear. Why? Off for now, children, but do keep those cards and letters coming in. So, I will finish for now, guys, and see you next time. Part 3 coming up soon. Bye.